Okay, special good afternoon to all of our members of the Barbados Union of Teachers. We are having another press release to update members. This is recent developments following a press release by the Minister of Education yesterday, Thursday, March 25th, 2021. Addressing you, the members will be President Pedro Shepherd.
Thank you, Brother Julian, Public Relations Officer of the Barbados Union of Teachers. Good afternoon, teachers. Good afternoon, viewers. The Barbados Union of Teachers would like to take this opportunity to respond to some of the issues raised in the press conference by the Minister of Education last evening on national television. Since that press conference, the Barbados Union of Teachers received several calls from concerned teachers in relation to a number of issues. Let it be known that the Barbados Union of Teachers continues to hold fast to its statement and its recommendation, which was placed on the table on Wednesday when we met with the ministry, that September is the preferred date for the return of face-to-face. And the Barbados Union of Teachers chose September as the preferred date for a number of reasons. One, we took into consideration the fact that there is community spread in Barbados, and the facts to date have not suggested that that is under control. We have not been made aware of the areas where there's community spread. We are not aware where the hotspots are in Barbados. We also took into consideration the fact that there is a vaccination program currently ongoing. Teachers are currently, this week, accessing vaccines. We were told that the vaccine is a 2-dose or a 2-jab vaccine. Therefore, if it is taken in March, early April, the second jab is 10 weeks down the road. I know that teachers have June dates for the second jab. We are also told that after the second jab, there needs to be a few weeks before you get immunity. We heard last night the minister stating that there is some level of immunity after the first jab. That seems to be new to us, new information coming to us. We always knew that you had to take the second jab, and it's only at that time that there was some level of immunity. There is much talk about herd immunity. We are still concerned as to whether or not there can be herd immunity in Barbados at this time. We believe that herd immunity can only be achieved, first of all, if there is immunity. And if the vaccine is not giving immunity to the COVID-19, then we are questioning whether or not there can even be any herd immunity. But that aside, we believe that the safest period would be the September period after the second jab has been administered. So the vaccinations is one area to consider. We also have to consider the fact that a number of the schools have been neglected or abandoned, let me say, over the last term. If you visit any of the schools across Barbados, you will see that the grass is now growing. Cleaning has not been done thoroughly. There are complaints by ancillary staff of rodents having field days at schools and so on. Can we realistically have these schools ready by the 19th of April? The Barbados Union of Teachers has some concern that the schools will not be ready, but that is a matter for the Ministry of Education. Teachers at the Blackman and Gallup School called and they have expressed concern about the use of, well, not the use, but they're concerned about the time that is given to have the school ready for the resumption of school. As we are aware, that school was used as an isolation center. We are told that persons hung their towels and their personals in the windows and so on. So the school has to have a full cleaning for it to be rendered safe, and that cleaning should also be supervised by someone from the school to guarantee that, in their opinion, it is safe for staff to return. The fact that there are, we were told that there are over 100 minors in isolation. That is a concern for the Barbados Union of Teachers as well, because we are not aware of the ages of these students, but we suspect that once there are minors, that they are of school age, and that is information that teachers are not privy to. So the possibility of teachers going back into an environment where there are persons who would have been in isolation, who would have come from homes where persons had COVID or are still experiencing symptoms of COVID, are real, and teachers have real fears about returning to school. The fact of the matter is that while teachers have been working extremely hard on the online teaching, it has its challenges, and teachers would love to get back face to face. They would love to be in front of their children, but that has to be only in an environment where it is deemed safe. All protocols must be in place. The monitors that were assigned to schools might very well have to be increased. The numbers of students on the compound certainly has to be addressed. If we are looking at the protocols where gatherings over 75 are prohibited, how then can we expect schools, the majority of which have rolls of over 100, would be expected then to go back and to function? We have schools as large as 1,100. How are we going to be able to deal with these schools if we are to follow the health protocols as outlined by the government of Barbados? So those are some of the concerns that the Barbados Union of Teachers continue to have, and until those concerns are addressed, we would want to more or less err on the side of caution and ask the ministry to seriously continue the dialogue and to ensure that everything is in place for the safe return of students and teachers at the soonest possible time. I'm not going to give a date, but at the soonest possible time. I know we might also have to raise another issue, and that is teachers who have NCDs. And I receive calls from teachers with NCDs, some with more than one. I know at the meeting on Wednesday it was raised about persons who have not taken the vaccine and whether or not those persons would be required to return to work. That continues to be an issue, and one that we will need to have clarified, because teachers, there are a number of teachers with NCDs and who are not prepared really to put their lives and that of their family at risk simply because of a desire to reopen schools at this time, which the representative body is suggesting to the Ministry of Education is not the safest or the best thing. You want this one time too? Okay. I also want to take this opportunity to inform our teachers that we have been victorious in one area, and that is the docking of pay case. You will recall that in 2016, the Ministry of Education saw it fit to dock the pay of teachers for attending 2 meetings called by their representative union. That case has been going on since 2017. I'll just give you the case number for those who might want to reference it at some point, and then I'll share the good news. The case number is CV 987 of 2017, Pedro Shepard et al. Versus the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Science, Technology, and Innovation. And I'm pleased to report that our lawyer is in receipt of a letter from the Solicitor General, which states that the Ministry of Education has repaid the proportional abatement of salaries for teachers who attended the meeting with the Barbados Union of Teachers in 2016. There are some 483 checks which were generated and are being batched for dissemination through registered mail via the post office. So teachers, within the next few days, you should be receiving your abatement of salary, your return of the dock pay. Additionally, I know that there were persons who would have retired, and unfortunately some might have passed during the period. You too are being looked after. There are some 54 persons who would fall into that particular category. I think that there might be a little difference in your payment because you might not be in the cloud suite payment system because of your position of either retired or deceased. But once your pay was docked, it is going to be returned. So there's some 54 persons who would fall into the category of either deceased or retired, and your checks have also been processed as well. So that is good news for teachers who thought that they should support the actions of the Barbados Union of Teachers in 2016 against what we thought was an unfair practice by the Ministry of Education. We want to thank you for the support during that period. We look forward to your continued support as we go forward. Do not let issues of docking of pay and those things prevent you from giving full support to your union. We always make the point that there is strength in numbers, and if we rally and we unite together, we can fight any battle. So let this be a clear example of unity is strength as we move forward. Thank you.